Welcome to another episode of Sub-Auteurs, our movie podcast. My name is MJ.
I'm Misha. Can I just say I love how you went from 0 to 100 just like that. You sound so professional. 10 seconds ago, you sounded like a lunatic.
10 seconds ago, I sounded like this.
And I'm Anjo.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Misha B.
Well,
Misha.
He's frozen.
Elsa?
It's okay.
Now, every time Anjo's internet fucks
Oh
up
my
and
God, my
he gets
internet is
frozen,
just so bad.
I'm gonna start calling him Elsa.
All right. Welcome back.
Why
gonna be our code
Elsa?
name.
Because you're frozen.
Yeah, you're
Why?
frozen.
No, but Elsa doesn't freeze. It's Anna who freezes.
Fine, Olaf.
You got demoted.
I'll take Olaf.
Okay,
Any day.
fine. So, just for our listeners, if ever Anjo freezes on the internet, we're gonna say Olaf.
I love Olaf. Everybody loves Olaf.
Yeah. But we're not talking about Olaf today. Actually, we're going to be talking about our first documentary. We haven't done this before. And this is a pretty hot issue now. Just released earlier this month, February. Is Framing Britney Spears. This whole issue about her conservatorship with her dad. And as a Britney fan, I literally forced these two to watch it and for us to make an episode.
Hey, I watched it before you did.
No,
Yeah,
but I was like, let's make it an episode.
And I was going to watch
Fine.
it anyway. I just didn't have time. Finally, I found time like 90 minutes before this recording.
Well, at least you've seen it. And I'm sure we have a lot of feelings. So we'll talk about it.
Wait. I just want to put out a disclaimer for our listeners out there that MJ is going to be breaking out into song. I'm pretty sure she is.
Me? Just
Yeah.
me? Excuse
Yep, for sure.
Excuse me.
Maybe me as
Not
well.
even maybe. Actually,
Oh,
the
fuck,
maybe
I
here
Olaf.
is Misha. I'm sure you're gonna sing or put out a
You guys
stupid Britney
suck.
pun.
You guys suck.
All right, so we'll get to it. We're talking about Framing Britney Spears. It's Britney, bitch.
Is that what her intro sounds like now?
That sounded more like
Okay,
a
fine.
Kellis song. It sounded like a, my milkshake brings all the boys to the
What was
yard.
that?
Sorry.
Olaf?
Olaf, what was that?
Oh, motherfucker. Forget it.
Dumb snowman.
Fine, let's play our actual intro.
Fine. Every time Anjo and I try and do it, TV's just like, ugh, what are they doing with their mouths?
What are they doing? They are butchering my hard work. But anyway, yeah.
Okay.
So, Framing Britney Spears was released early February, and it's got a lot of people talking.
Mhm.
And what did you guys think?
Okay, just a little background. It is a documentary by the New York Times. And the thing is, Britney didn't actually do any interviews for this. It's all based on news footage and interviews with fans, interviews with people around her,
Or old Britney interviews.
People
But
she's
for
worked with.
Mhm.
people she's worked with.
Right.
And if you're a Britney fan, or if you've just been following the news, a lot of this might not necessarily, it's not the first time you'll be hearing these things, but seeing it all in context, seeing it all with footage from the time, it made for a very disturbing viewing experience for me.
Yeah, I felt
was
really
just so
sad
sad.
after watching it.
It was
It's
really
like-
sad. I mean, it was like a downward spiral after the 2007 meltdown for her. I mean, we thought there was a resurgence in her career, but lo and behold, there were so much things behind the scenes that we weren't aware about.
And what I was gonna say was it's like one thing to know the facts of it, but it's quite another to watch it all in chronological order. Because it's like the way that documentaries now is edited. It's like you're watching her break down
I know.
gradually, bit by bit, from the start of her career till her career high, until her absolute lows, and then her coming back. And it's just tragic to watch.
I know. And it's really different considering this issue was out 2019. I do believe the hashtag Free Britney movement was a thing. But then a lot of people ignored it because basically most of it were on social media and in the form of like long articles explaining what a conservatorship is. And, people just don't have the attention span for that. And I guess there's
Not
also
anymore.
yeah. Well, I guess there's this stigma too that it kind of went under the radar for most people because maybe we're still stuck on that Britney meltdown phase that she never really recovered from. I mean, it's still a meme till now.
I think what the documentary does a good job of showing is just how, look, tabloid media, TMZ, all those things, reporters harassing celebs, that's nothing new. But what I did not take into account previously was how incredibly sexist it was towards her and how that affected her growing up.
Yeah, I do.
No, that's the one thing I wanted to point out. Like the one of the takeaways I got from the documentary was how it portrayed a very, at the time, very patriarchal society, and wherein there literally was no power for women. Like she had to deal with a lot of the stigma that was put on her because of the image that she was selling or how she was being marketed as.
I don't know if you could really say it's because it was of the times, because like
it still is.
Still ask those stupid questions now.
When
are you gonna get married? Why don't you have a boyfriend? Or
how do you balance work and family life?
Exactly.
No, but then at that time, not a lot of people will be fighting for fighting to correct those statements or those questions.
That is
right now,
true.
there's social media and there's this whole movement that makes it so easy for them to talk about these things. Why it's wrong to say these things. Back then, she didn't have any of that. So all these articles, and there was no social media back then. All these tabloid magazines, all these TV shows had all the power. They controlled all the narrative, which led to the conservatorship. Technically, now she can't even tell her own story except through these cryptic images she has or cryptic posts she has on her social feed.
Supposedly cryptic.
Supposedly cryptic.
But let's talk about that, because for anyone who doesn't know, we've thrown around the word conservatorship a couple of times. Basically, that's a legal state where somebody else makes your decisions for you. And apparently, for the longest time, her dad has had sole conservatorship of not just herself, like with regards to what kind of medication she can take, what kind of doctor she can see, but also with regards to her career and her finances. Yeah, you can sign contracts on her behalf, book her gigs, and she's got no choice.
So this right was given to her dad after her 2007 struggles. She was going through so many things. So she was probably at the height of her career. She was going through a divorce. And because of the divorce, she had this nasty custody battle for her kids with her then husband, Kevin Federline. And I do believe her mom also said that she was suffering from postpartum depression, plus the whole celebrity culture, paparazzi hounding her. And that's basically more than enough to make somebody break down. And she went through a lot of troubles, and she had to be sent to a psychiatric facility a couple of times. So because of that, she was deemed unable to control her own finances or make those big decisions for herself. So that was given to her dad. That's the conservatorship, basically. But what people are fighting for now is that she should regain that control, because she's functioning great now. She's back to, I guess, performing like a professional, doing shows. But now she refuses to perform again until her father's been taken out of as her sole conservator. Conservator,
and apparently, the whole thing about a conservatorship, legally, from what I've understood, what I've read, is that it's giving you the rights over another person who is either unable to make their own decisions, or they're in a position where other people can take advantage of them.
Yes.
We saw that recently, like with Stan Lee, for example, where his handlers, his managers, they were all taking advantage of him. They were basically making him go all over the world, just signing his autograph nonstop. Half the time, he didn't even know where he was anymore, because he was like 93 years old.
Oh.
So, a conservatorship, a good one in that case, would have been maybe his daughter, and she could have looked after him and his finances, and his business partners would not have been able to take advantage. in the case of Britney, she's already proven, I think, over the last 13 years that, she built herself back up. She's a far cry from that girl who shaved her head in frustration and, attacked some paparazzi with an umbrella. But what really sucked about the media coverage at the time, Anjo was right. Social media wasn't where it is now. Mm-hmm. So your narrative, your truth would be shaped by other people. And I think it's interesting now that because of social media, because of Instagram and all these things, that she's letting more of herself out versus what the tabloids just say.
Yeah, and that's the thing with social media now. I guess that was also the height of the quote-unquote paparazzi, TMZ power, because they controlled the narrative. But ever since social media started and celebrities could share whatever they wanted on their social media on their terms, they have a little bit more power now compared to back then in the early 2000s, where they didn't have anything. They couldn't release whatever they wanted to release on their own time. So I guess that's what Britney didn't have then compared to now. Mm-hmm. So okay, this documentary kind of explains a lot about what she went through, like Nisha said, like when she was a kid, on to how she was sexualized. And basically this wouldn't go this far if this happened to a dude.
I don't think so.
I cannot argue with that.
I don't think so. Yeah. I can't argue with that. I mean, like the first thing this documentary did to paint a picture of what it was like for her during the hard times was, like, let's say everybody was there for the good, but then there were more people there for the bad times, for the bad things that happened to her. Like the case in point was the Justin Timberlake breakup. Like that. Like I loved Justin Timberlake's music. Like I was a fan, but this documentary made me see him in a different light, like, which made me lose respect for Justin Timberlake.
You didn't know that?
Like, I don't follow pop news. Like I don't go to. I mean, I'm not always on E! News. Like, so when I first heard that interview he had on the radio station about the question about like, those things that he back then could have easily been passed on as like boys will be boys. The kind of interview that he gave was just terrible. That was so private, so it was also very demeaning for her. Like, I mean, the way that the guy, the DJ asked the question was like, did you bang Britney Spears? It wasn't even like, it was so derogatory. So it was just so different. Like, I kind of lost respect for Justin Timberlake because of that. Well, this is all new to me.
Based on what I've seen, like, he's always been more interested in protecting himself than the people around him.
Well, and if you don't really have to be a Britney fan to kind of know that he's been name dropping her throughout the years. I mean, come on, even after you've been happily married or in other relationships, he just kept name dropping Britney in interviews. Well, Cry Me a River. Oh yeah, that
the breakup song. Oh god.
Cry Me a River was like the most blatant.
The post-breakup song.
Cry Me a River was like the most blatant Britney name drop ever. Like it's sold.
But that's why social media blew up,
money.
Right?
Like a lot of money.
That's why social media blew up when she tagged him in a post a couple of weeks ago. She was dancing to one of his songs.
Yeah, but the thing is with Justin Timberlake, like I said, he's been name dropping Britney when it's convenient, just like to kind of like fan an old flame just because he has a new single out. This is not new. Like there were numerous Twitter threads a couple of years ago just exposing this for Justin Timberlake. But now, like Anjo, I guess now that it's in documentary form, it's something visual with actual proof how Justin Timberlake was such a dick to her.
And because it's bringing it to a whole new audience, or at least a whole new context for a lot of people, because social media is the way it is, he actually apologized the other day. like 20 years too late.
Exactly. Like
we don't know we don't know if it was actually him or his publicist who did that. It was very well written.
That's true.
That's right. True. That's right. But and I think what was her name? Janet Jackson was included in the apology as well.
She was included because of the Super Bowl issue.
Do you remember that, Anjo? He was in on that. And he was equally responsible, but the media only crucified her.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he had the chance to make up for it because
he was happy to stay quiet.
Yeah, he was happy to stay quiet. And recently, he also performed another Super Bowl set with that would have been the perfect chance to make up for it, right? But people started bringing back the whole Janet Jackson issue when he got the halftime show performance slot, and then people were like, oh, is he gonna do something to make up for it, because that was also the Super Bowl, and why is he able to come back when Janet Jackson's been banned?
That's right.
So I don't know. So I guess it's only now because the evidence is right there. You got a documentary about it. No matter how many people have tagged him in the past on Twitter, but here is hard evidence that
the only reason why he's not banned is because he wasn't wearing that outfit that supposedly broke. But I'm pretty sure he was in on it.
That's where the double standard comes in. The same double standard that happened to him with Britney. Where one of the people who interviewed, they said that the way the narrative, the way the media presented it, was she became the school slut while he was still the star quarterback of the high school. Mm-hmm. So, but he got away with it basically to live his life and be happy while she got every single thing that she did analyzed and overanalyzed and misinterpreted and reinterpreted in ways that many people probably couldn't even imagine. It's like living under a microscope.
Mm-hmm. And with this new apology that came out, I appreciate, at least whether or not it's him, he probably should embody whatever he promised in the apology. Because in the apology, he acknowledged his privilege of being a white man. Plus, he said that, I'll continue to learn from this, and I don't want to be part of the system that crucifies these women. Okay, fine. It's too late. And we're not even sure if it's sincere. But I really just hope going forward, he, doesn't take advantage of this anymore.
When's he going to apologize for the Jerry curl?
Is the ramen noodle hair?
I can't eat pancit canton without seeing his hair now.
It was the early 2000s.
Yeah, they all look like assholes. That's true.
It was the 90s. I mean, that was the time of frosted tips and
Oh, God.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, God. And you
Sugar Ray had it. Mark McGrath had it.
although I did love that denim on denim couple red carpet moment that they had when they were still together, Britney and Justin. But yeah. But okay, so
thinking.
You know what? This documentary made me realize how tacky the outfits were back then. I'm so sorry. I just had to say this.
What? You didn't have elephant pants?
Elephant pants that would clean the floor for you.
I did have elephant pants.
Oh
I did
God.
have elephant pants. Jesus. Yeah, I remember playing basketball in those. I couldn't do crossovers
What?
at all. Yeah, I played basketball. I played basketball and yeah.
What
It was so
the
stupid.
fuck?
It was ridiculous. I think I tripped over them too.
Well,
Was your wallet on a chain?
I think everybody's wallet was on a chain at the time.
Nope, mine was not. You're on your own.
Oh,
No,
God.
I wasn't
Yeah.
on my own. I wasn't on my own for sure. I'll tell you
Hookah
that.
shells?
Nah.
yeah,
No.
yeah, you weren't. You totally weren't. I could remember my brothers with those chains too. At least they didn't have frosted tips. Thank God.
I had classmates in college. Who had those. Still had chains on their wallets. It's like, I mean, this is college, man.
Oh man. Okay, so back to the documentary.
Yes. Denim
so-
on denim. I'm sorry. God damn. I'm still stuck on that.
Yeah. But okay, there's just so much to unpack from whatever happened to Britney, but let's focus on the documentary itself. How it was made, what info was presented. What did you like about it and what did you not like about it?
What I liked about the documentary, because clearly they didn't have access to a lot of the A-listers that they name dropped through this thing. They can't talk to Britney. They can't talk to Timberlake, all those people. But what they did do was they made the most out of the people that they were able to talk to. Even if it looked like they were all interviewed in one location on the same morning. but the stories that they told, the picture that they helped paint was very convincing. And I like that the directors, the filmmakers, clearly had an idea of what they wanted to say and how they wanted to say it.
Oh, Andrew just showed us that photo of Britney crying in the cafe with her baby.
Why would you show that
so
to us?
sad.
Why?
It's so heartbreaking.
Why would you show us pictures of...
I just saw it on my Facebook feed, and it was so timely because we were talking about it, so I had to show it to you guys.
Yeah, that's so sad. Like,
we'll be posting this in our group.
Yeah. Do you know the story behind that one?
No, please enlighten us.
So basically, she was being hounded by paparazzi as per usual, and she had her kid, and she was really, really stressed, and she decided to take shelter in a little cafe just to get away from everybody. She just like wanted to go in, and she asked the owners like, "Can I please like just take a breather here?" And they're being so aggressive, and the cafe owner just laughed at her.
Oh wow!
Damn, I didn't know that last part.
That was terrible. Stupid people.
What a dick.
Yeah, but
well, that's what I saw on Facebook. There's no like, there's no. I don't really know how legit this source is. But
you can't verify it.
Yeah, I can't really 100% verify it, but I'm not sure about the whole cafe. Yeah, but the whole owner laughing at her. But yeah, she did try to take solace in a cafe, but you could obviously see that those photos were taken by paparazzi still, and she was very stressed and even crying with her son. So it's like so sad. That general situation, I'm pretty sure it's true.
It's a cult of celebrity. But anyway, this documentary was so good. It took the lengths to explain everything about what the conservatorship was for people who didn't understand or didn't know what it was. So it really brought to light what kind of situation she was in and how serious it was, you know, considering that she's well enough to live on her own without the conservatorship. Also, I like how it really showed what kind of person she was growing up, or what kind of artist she was, where she was, you know, hardworking. She wanted a lot of control with what and how creative she was, and you know, she wanted a lot of control in her performances. You know, even down to picking the right people to direct her shows. You know, the right moments for her shows. That was it. Just, you know, like now we know people like Beyonce are that, you know, are those kinds of people. But we kind of took Britney Spears for granted, that we knew that she had all these people behind her doing all these things. We didn't know how much work she would put into her shows or her performances.
Yeah, it actually showed a side of Britney we don't usually see, because and on camera, of course, you see her, you know, performing her ass off and being the sweet girl too in interviews. She's always so sweet and humble and charming. But one behind the scenes moment in this documentary was when she was actually taking control. She was backstage, or they were doing rehearsals, and she was actually like very in control of, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. So it's like, that's a side of Britney a lot of people don't see, which is great.
Yep.
So at least you know that she takes control too. Yeah. And it was so cute too. She was like, oh, this is going to be so fucking cool. She was so proud of herself. So
and it was also,
Britney.
Like, what else I really liked also was, you know, they had a lot of file footage of her interviews. And it was, I liked how much, you know, like guilt it made me feel about how I felt towards her at that, you know, at that point in time. Like, especially that interview that she gave, where she was pressed by the interviewer about the breakup with Justin Timberlake and how she felt about it. And she couldn't even continue. That was just really sad. It made me feel bad, you know, bad for her. And it made me feel bad about myself, because I was judging her. You know, I failed to realize that, you know, a celebrity is a person too, you know. That was a slap to the face.
Something that jumped out at me, honestly, was also how the media people that they interviewed were so adamant to justify their treatment of her, saying that they were just doing their job, saying that, you know, Britney was in on it. Like, she used us, we used her, you know, we all needed each other. And she never said that she didn't like what we were doing. I found that particularly distasteful. In justifying how you can just reduce a human being, what Anjo said, to just another headline, to just a paycheck. You know, that you forget that these are real people with real feelings. And, you know, there you are sticking 90 cameras in their face when they just go out to Starbucks and get some coffee. You know? I mean, who wouldn't go a little crazy? And I think that the most good that this documentary can do is paint that 2007 meltdown and aftermath in a different light. This documentary was not trying to make her out to be some kind of a monster or some kind of psycho. It was just painting a very tragic picture of somebody who got famous at a young age.
That's the thing. The general feeling, a lot of people I've talked to who've seen this documentary, they felt sad for Britney and also very guilty. Because to be honest, that 2007 Britney, even if you're a fan, you probably would have used it as the butt of some sort of joke at some point in your life. And that's what makes you feel guilty. Like, even if you're a fan, it's like, haha, 2007 Britney, meltdown, psycho, crazy bitch. What happened? So it's like, you don't really realize what was going on underneath.
Right.
And
behind the scenes.
Yeah, because people were just painting her as a crazy person. Just, oh, she shaved her head. Oh, she attacked the paparazzi. But you just feel that heavy guilt for even making her a punchline for all those years. And it also makes you aware of, I guess back then in the early 2000s, we're not as vocal about or not as aware about mental health issues.
Yeah, back then.
So it wasn't maybe they were, but they just didn't take it as seriously. Because now there's still this stigma attached to poor mental health, where like people take it as an admission of weakness.
Yeah, I mean,
if you say that you need help.
I'm not saying it's completely gone right now, but compared to before, that's something people didn't consider at all. And it also happened to Amanda Bynes back then.
I think it still happened to her. I think she's still
also think
in her meltdown phase.
Well, she's recovering slowly. I think she is.
Did she get a tattoo on her face or something? Did she get a tattoo on her face or something?
I don't remember.
I don't know. But she does not look like the Amanda Bynes, I remember.
But,
but probably for the same reasons. So I guess now people are just more aware or more sensitive to or compassionate to that kind of situation.
I think, and I think people who have mental issues or have mental health issues now are more vocal about it because the support system is more visible. You can see it on social media. You can see it with PSAs. It's not just even in developed countries. Even like developing countries. Where everything isn't as updated. You still see that kind of support system on social media. Just because the information is spread out much faster. So that's a
I don't know if it's so much information. I think it's more of like what Britney's doing with social media, in that it's not as hard to see or to find people who understand your situation, to find people who would be more empathic, I guess, than other people who might not understand. And something. So I guess, fine. Social media cuts both ways. It's good and it's bad. But,
it's a double-edged sword.
But which brings me to, I think it was another reason it was so easy for us to write Britney off collectively as a society in pop culture in 2007 was because you figured, it's just another, crazy child star who went nuts. And that's already on top of it's already on top of the sexism, the treatment that she was experiencing post Timberlake. Because at some point you kind of expect child stars or people who became famous at a young age to go a little crazy, but to deal with all of that without proper parental supervision, because her parents aren't exactly paragons. And
we'll get to her parents later.
We'll get to her.
We'll get there.
But you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Dealing with all the fame from a young age, and then having to deal with the sexism attached to it, and then having to deal with the media that just wants a headline or a picture of you doing something wrong. That can weigh on a person.
Totally, man. Like, that's like times 10 any of what we're experiencing, because we don't have like 100 cameras in our face, but we're still like having our own problems. So put that on top of that. So really props to Britney actually for even recovering so well.
Yeah.
And that's what's shocking because 2008 or 2009, she came out with another album and one after the other. She got the Vegas residency and she totally changed the image of the Vegas residency because before, people would be like, oh, if you've got a Vegas residency, you're passé, laos ka na. But Britney totally changed that because she always had sold out shows. She was super successful. And to think that no matter how well she bounced back, she has that stigma still. Plus, she doesn't have control over her career. So that's what makes it extra sad. You thought she's okay at some point. You thought she's getting better, but she still doesn't have.
No, I thought she was getting okay. Didn't she have a world tour during that time? I remember my wife watching that concert with her friends when I waited in Mall of Asia.
But considering like isipin mo
before the Vegas residency, wasn't it?
I don't know.
The Vegas shows were like every night.
Yeah.
I don't think you can do a world tour at the same time.
No,
or maybe like in between because those Vegas shows have contracts. Maybe in between those contracts.
Timelines.
Timelines. But we'll figure it out.
Point is, you thought she was doing so much better, but there's this still huge issue underneath. Which brings us to her dad.
I know.
My goodness. Piece of shit, Jamie Spears.
And to God. I mean, like, seriously.
That guy doesn't deserve anything at all.
I mean, who the hell just shows up after their daughter gets rich? That guy.
Do you remember in one of those interviews, I think one of the marketing managers or for the recording company that she was working with mentioned that the first thing she remembered her father saying was, "My daughter's gonna buy me a boat."
Oh yeah!
Oh my God!
Yeah. You know he's gonna be so rich. He's gonna buy me a boat.
You know it's going downhill from there. This guy should not be involved with his daughter's career or finances whatsoever.
It's so funny because like when we were already in this Zoom meeting and Misha was on like at the last few minutes going to on the way to finishing this documentary, and it was concluding already, and at some point Misha was like, "Fuck you, Jamie." And it's like that is all of us at some point in this movie. I'm pretty sure people who watched this at some point said that out loud. "Fuck you, Jamie."
Okay. It still is us now. Like, fuck you, Jamie.
And like even a lot of people he interviewed who were interviewed in this documentary have said like they were wondering why this conservatorship was even given to him because when she was at the height of her career, he wasn't around. It was so sweet too that they had Felicia, her assistant chaperone at the start. Oh, that was so sweet to have her there. And to think that when her dad had the conservatorship powers, they just reduced her. Yeah, they just reduced Felicia to somebody who takes people on backstage tours. When in fact, when Britney was getting famous, she was like the mom figure because the mom was taking care of the younger sister. The dad wasn't even around. So it's like, ugh. This sucks.
Just be all like, bye, Felicia.
Oh, poor Felicia. But I remember a couple of Britney fans telling me that they're so happy that they saw Felicia in this documentary because she's well known to the fans as being like the mama bear, like Britney's true mama bear. So
she seems really sweet.
She was. Olaf.
She's been Olaf for a while now, huh? What face is he making on your end? Exactly. I just took a screenshot.
I'm sorry. I couldn't say anything. I laughed so bad. That was. I could hear everything. But I didn't want to say anything because I knew I'd be interrupting someone. So I didn't say anything.
You were just frozen, man.
You were totally Olaf.
Oh my God.
I'm going to screenshot here. It's just precious.
Fucking douchebag.
Okay. So
but not as much as a douchebag as Jamie Spears.
You have anything to add to what you just heard?
Okay, yes.
Nah. You pretty much said you pretty much said everything.
Oh, and we're talking Jamie the dad, not Jamie Lynn the little sister, just in case you're confused.
Because that would be weird if Jamie Lynn showed up.
Funny thing about that is that every time they would say Jamie Spears, it's all I could think about is
Jamie Lynn.
Jamie Lynn Spears. It's like,
or like, wouldn't that be sad if you were under your little sister's conservatorship? Well, it depends how close they were. I guess it's fine. I guess Jamie Lynn would probably take better care of her sister than her dad does.
I would imagine.
I don't know.
Probably.
I mean, you know,
that's
Rock
also
could probably take better care of her than Jamie Spears. So.
That's true. And I think the worst part is this big reveal in this documentary, like how some fans procured some important information in the papers that said they were treating this conservatorship as some sort of business model. And that's what got my blood boiling. It was like, fuck you, Jamie.
Yep.
Because the point of conservatorship is like taking care of someone who's not able to take care of themselves. And then you make it a fucking business model and pineperahan mo, tang ina mo.
Hey, don't forget, this guy loves telling people how much he loves his daughter and how much he cares for her.
Didn't even Britney consult with a lawyer or wanted a lawyer who specialized in these cases to represent her? And even then, the judge had to shut him down. Parang, no, just because of the conservatorship, we can't have you representing her because we don't know if she's in the right state of mind to make the right decisions on who's representing her.
I think it was more messed up that it's her money that's paying for everything.
Yeah, dude.
It's her money that's paying for her asshole father and her asshole father's lawyers that are keeping her money under his control. So she's paying for the lawyers on both sides of the argument, basically.
Yeah. There, much better.
So please tell me which one of these fuckers has her best interest at heart.
No, none of the above, and it sucks.
Look, again, I'm not a legal expert. I'm not even going to pretend to be any kind of expert on family law or conservatorship.
But we don't have to be. But
that guy's a douche.
We don't have. I mean, like we can focus on the human aspect. Like, I mean, her kids. She can't even see her kids. You know. Like, I mean, I remember watching the documentary, and I'm sure MJ remembers that story, or that you know, like when she was carrying her then infant, or maybe it's, you know, when one of her kids as a toddler, as an infant, and then she trips. And then if you watch it, then you see it on the documentary, you watch everything. My sister was pointing it out. I remember this. She was saying she only tripped. It was such a big story. She tripped with her while holding her kid. She only tripped because of the paparazzi there.
Yeah.
Like, imagine trying to push your way through a crowd of people with cameras, you know, like maybe like 5 inches to your face, and you're holding your baby. Of course, you wouldn't be able to see everything everything in your path. And then somehow, some way, the media spins it as you're so unstable, you can't even carry your kid properly. That's just terrible.
Yeah, that sucks balls.
I think what's most tragic is the complicit role that the public at large played, whether or not, you know, directly or indirectly.
I don't think it's even, I mean, what makes it worse is I don't think the public was just complicit. I think the public just wanted more. Like they were demanding of, I'm pretty sure they were demanding of that you know, those kinds of stories.
Yeah, the guy said it himself, you know, you get a bad picture of Britney, put on the front page, it sells magazines.
You know, he makes $1 million for a photo.
Yep.
Jeez. And like I going back to like how Misha said, like, oh, she benefited from this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, just because she was nice to you doesn't mean that you can keep
for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Wow, that sounds kind of rapey when you put it that way.
It does. It is in a way. Just because she's all smiling and being friendly to you, that's just because that's how she is as a person. She's just really nice. But you see her having a bad day, you still hound at her, and even if she says, "Not today, guys, not today," she doesn't
still
say
respectful
like,
or friendly.
Yeah, it's still pretty respectful, and they still hound her. It's terrible.
I mean, you can see, like, you know, she's this small town girl in LA in New York as a kid, and then as she got famous, she kind of learned how to deal with that as a teenager. And I guess as a teenager, that's how you would be able, you know, that's how you would deal with these grown men trying to get in your face. You just smile and say, just smile, because, you know, you don't really know who you are growing up. I mean, some people,
and who to trust.
Some people don't even know who to trust, you know, further down their lives.
A lot of the blame, I suppose, could be placed on the fact that, again, she didn't have proper parental guidance during her formative years. And also from the mere fact that you know how it goes. When you become famous, when you become a brand name, people just see you as that brand. They see you as a commodity that has to be always on, always has to be on demand, always has to be available, always has to be picture perfect, what people imagine from record covers and TV appearances. That's how you got to be all day, 24/7.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's exhausting.
Let's talk about parental guidance, because we were talking about the asshole father that she has.
He's a dick.
So can we talk
he's
about
an asshole and he's a dick? I don't know.
So can we talk about Lynn Spears now?
What? That woman who wrote a tell-all book?
Oh.
God. Ayun.
I think it's also painful how deceiving that is, because like, where is the mom in all of this? You say that you love your daughter. She's probably a warmer figure publicly to Britney compared to her father, but like, I don't know, where are you in all of this now?
I got nothing.
I got nothing.
I don't know. People just become assholes as far as money is concerned.
Because I don't know, maybe she's. This is me probably trying to think of a reason why she's probably caught in between, because of course it is her husband and it is her daughter, and she's caught in between. Maybe
the business assistant have a few nice things to say about Lynn Spears as a mom. Like compared to how Jamie Spears was portrayed, Jamie Spears was just from the get-go all negative. But Lynn Spears, had some redeeming factors. Like she would. If she was available on her tours, like if she was present, she would be there for her. But, still, I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I think one thing that I felt was missing from the documentary, or not really missing, like I understand the limitations. Maybe there are legal terms for this or legal restraints, but you didn't hear from Jamie Lynn. You didn't hear from Lynn herself, or like some people.
They
maybe
declined
like
to be featured. It was in the end credits.
It was. Yeah, but that's why I'm saying that there might have been limitations. But that's just, I guess, something I wanted to hear. Like, defend yourself.
I guess, that makes sense.
Speak for yourself.
But
what is it?
Didn't Jamie and Lynn get a divorce or something? They're not even married anymore. So I guess she's also looking for a way to make a buck.
Maybe. This is tough. We can't really.
Either way, she's going to be earning money.
Yeah, we need like a real fan. Why do we need a resource person for this?
Yeah. Okay. So I have a suggestion
I thought
for
MJ
our
was
listeners.
Our resource person.
Our good. Well, I'm not as big as a fan as these people I'm about to suggest, but we have a bunch of college friends. Their names are Jumar and Jairo. And they actually
they'll be so mad when they hear this, like, you got everything wrong.
No naman. But I'm just saying that they had this Facebook Live. You can go check out Jomar on, or is it Jomar on Facebook. They literally had a 2-hour long discussion on this documentary and a really in-depth analysis of Britney's career and what was going on. So I suggest you guys watch that. They are the total Britney experts there.
Yes.
And as much of a fan as I am, it doesn't compare to how much they are. And it's a really interesting listen. So while we're talking about this documentary, that's a great supplementary, actually primary, because they have more info. Primary resource. So I think I want to share that to the group. So if you guys want to partake into this Britney rabbit hole, they have better timelines and facts.
I looked into Jamie Spears and Lynn Spears' marriage. They did have a divorce. Okay. They did get a divorce in 2002. Okay. But it states on Wikipedia, that they are Wikipedia. Wow.
Such a great source.
They've been they are partners now. It states that they are partners since 2010. So they may have gotten back together.
Money. Who doesn't like money?
Fuck.
So just to be clear, 2002, they got a divorce. And then a year or so after Jamie gets the conservatorship, they just made up. Must be nice to have money.
How convenient.
Mm-hmm. But I guess for this documentary as a whole, it's already something that Britney fans knew was happening, but it was just nice to see more details about it, especially that fan podcast that was kind of like the whistleblower in all this, that Britney podcast that they were kind of like looking for her, like, oh, what's up with her? What's happening? And they kind of like were the ones who kind of revealed to the public that, oh crap, this is happening. Oh shit. So I love that they also had like the point of view of the fans, because this is also some sort of like mystery or case that the fans were heavily involved in. And that's what I love too. They started off the documentary with like these fans fighting in a rally for their beloved Britney Spears, and this cute little gay guy who's like, I wouldn't have accepted myself as I am if it wasn't for Britney Spears. And that's just really sweet. As a fan, I felt how angry or passionate they were to fight for Britney, with all the good that she's done, with all the happiness she's brought about through her songs. And I'm pretty sure you guys had fun with a lot of her songs, which we haven't.
Okay,
yeah, nobody's broached the song.
I'm
yet.
surprised.
I know, because this is so serious. Yeah, it is pretty heavy.
I mean, you know what? Talking about her songs, if you start listening to some of her songs before, it's kind of creepy how it reflects what her life is like now. Like,
oh yeah, so many of her songs, Overprotected, Lucky, yeah.
Lucky's the one that hits home the hardest. I'm pretty sure.
Like, oh, this is an autobiography song.
Mm-hmm. And this is before shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
It's creepy how it's like a foreshadowing of some sort.
Yep.
And yeah, all these songs about being overprotected, like her My Prerogative, what else? Piece of Me, how shitty the paparazzi's been. So basically, she's been telling us her life in her songs, and we didn't realize until this documentary.
I'm sorry.
Sucks.
When you said Piece of Me, I thought of what's her name? Ashley Simpson.
No,
that's Pieces.
Even I know that.
I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Hell?
How could you? And to think Piece of Me was the song that mentions the Philippines, and people went crazy over that.
It was?
Miss American Dream. Since I was 17, no matter if I step on the scene and sneak away to the Philippines. Yeah, that was the thing.
You just wanted to do that whole bit, no?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well done.
I'm not ashamed. I might have gotten a few words wrong.
The first
I might have gotten a few words wrong, but I don't care. Well, I care, but I'm sorry.
I know.
I don't need everybody telling me just what I wanna.
And it starts.
It does.
Do about my destiny.
We have opened Pandora's box, ladies and gentlemen.
You mentioned it. If you didn't mention it, I probably wouldn't have, because like we were so serious.
So it is Anjo's fault.
I opened Pandora's box.
Protected.
Okay, wow. Sunod-sunod
Well, naipon siya because the serious conversation was so long.
It's like if Anjo wanted to jump in, it's like you're not leaving him any openings. You're just going from one to the next.
That's what you get for mixing Ashley Simpson and Britney Spears.
Yeah, dumbass.
I'm sorry. Like the song, pop music is not my strong suit.
Damn it, now I got Pieces of Me playing in my head. What the hell, man?
Pieces! Wrong song.
I love
Pieces
that song,
of
though.
Me.
I love that song.
Yeah, sure.
Though.
I'm just glad I'm not the one who got that one wrong today.
So yeah, this was a lot. There was a lot of shit's happening to Britney, guys. Free Britney.
What is it with documentaries revealing how shitty the lives of our childhood performers were? Seriously. There's this one. There's Framing Britney Spears, and there's that other one, the Boy Band Con.
Boy Band Con.
Oh my God, that was messed up.
Boy Band Con. You get that's a free documentary on YouTube, right?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. That's the one that talks about how the same guy started the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC to play them against each other, just so he could make all the money.
Yep.
At the same time, he was frauding people out of millions and millions of dollars.
Yep.
Yeah, go watch it.
For an airline, right?
Jesus
supposedly,
Christ, a fake airline.
That was intense.
Oof. That is another suggestion. That's actually what I watched right after Framing Britney Spears.
Why? Why would you go down that rabbit hole?
Because it's, after that, I watched this Britney documentary, totally binged on Britney's music right after. And then I watched Boy Band Con, and then I started on this rabbit hole of like Britney, Backstreet Boys, and NSYNC songs in the car on the way to work. So like, yeah, it was a good day. I didn't have to warm up my voice for radio anymore because I was singing my ass off in the car.
No, but yeah, comparing Boy Band Condo was produced by Lance Bass, right? He was one of the producers for that documentary.
Yes.
And his terrifying Botox face.
Hey, what's wrong with Botox?
I said it's terrifying because it's not moving. It's terrifying.
Well, it just sucks that Justin Timberlake wasn't in it. It's like, oh, you're too good for this shit.
You just wanted to see his Nissan hair.
Hey, to be fair, any of the Backstreet Boys, it was just AJ and AJ.
Was Howie there? I don't remember.
I think Howie D was there.
Howie, so underrated. Howie D.
Yeah. On that note, like you guys should check out Boy Band Con. It's on YouTube. It's there for free. It's a great documentary.
Yeah, it's so messed up.
So messed up.
Basically, the industry's fucked up. We've got these managers frauding the shit out of their talents and abusing them, and there's also like, who can you trust anymore? Because like Britney's parents also are fucking her up. So
I think Britney Spears' situation makes it worse because it's her own parents. I mean, like it's her own father who's fucking her up.
They just saw her as a meal ticket.
That's just
plus
terrible.
The sexism.
That too.
Man.
That we don't even know.
Depressing.
We don't even know how they're treating Jamie Lynn Spears or what the relationship between them and their kids are like anymore. Like, Jamie Lynn Spears has been out of the spotlight for so long, and then of course this whole Britney Spears thing blew up.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know from this documentary.
Yeah, like I want the parents to defend themselves at some point, just to see what.
Want them to defend themselves?
Just to see their side.
Just to see their side. I mean, like. Like
it'll sound like I like money. That's what it's gonna sound like.
Why do you sound like Grover?
I know. I was like, why do you sound like you're from Sesame Street but for money?
I was going for Mr. Krabs. I'm never doing that again.
This is why you leave the impressions to me and Angel.
Y'all do that. Yes.
You can. You sounded like Cookie Monster, but only it was after money this time. Like money
monster, basically.
Colored green.
It's all about the money.
It's all about the dum dum da da dum dum. I don't think it's funny. Wrong artist.
We're still in the 90s, bro. It's yeah.
It's okay. We're not on the Backstreet Boys yet, so we're still good.
You are
by fire.
Here we go.
Sorry, Misha. Are we driving you crazy now?
Don't say sorry if you're. Oh, I see what you did.
You're Sorry.
You know what? Quit playing games with my heart, okay? Tama na.
Well, I want it that way, so suck it.
Yeah, but it's toxic.
Akala ko ba no strings attached, guys?
I don't know. I just got lucky.
Cry me a river, Misha.
You know what? Fuck this. Bye.
Ay, nako, Misha. Don't go chasing waterfalls, man.
Man, this is turning into a circus. We could go on and on.
My goodness.
Oh my God.
Bumabawi lang tayo.
Nilabas lahat
Can we watch something fun next week, please?
We could. Speaking of fun, our episode on Freaky was out last week.
Yeah, Freaky's cool.
Mm-hmm. I could watch that again.
One of the most underrated films from last year. You all should see it, if only for the joy of Vince Vaughn as a 16-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm.
Not a girl. Not yet a woman.
Now I want to see Vince Vaughn singing that. Damn it.
You want to see Vince Vaughn sing in Britney Spears' outfit?
No. You know what? Just to put things in context, we were at draft before this whole pandemic thing started, and I was with with a couple of friends, the people, and Mark, if you guys are listening. And I'm not kidding. The place started playing Oops, I Did It Again. And I shit you not, the college students at the next table had no idea who it was.
What an insult.
Is that an insult or just a sign of aging, Ancho?
When I was in college, I knew who Madonna was.
Well,
to
Britney
be
Spears
fair,
is, at
They should
career.
know Britney Spears. I'm sorry. She is up there with Madonna.
What do you want me to do?
They even had a duet, right? They even had a duet. Come
All
on.
my people on the floor, let me see you dance. I know the choreography to that.
And then, how could these college kids not know who Britney Spears was? The Glee cast had an episode that had a Britney Spears tribute episode.
Oh yeah, they did. That was a pretty good episode.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it.
One of the characters
thoroughly.
literally is the Britney S. Pierce. Come on.
I'm trying to think if today's college students would even remember Glee.
Oh yeah, today's college students.
Not
they
helping
being
your
the
case.
operative word.
They would have been like in, I don't know, second grade when Glee was out.
Fuck.
We're so old.
Shit.
I'm still not the oldest in this podcast.
Oh yeah.
Y'all suck.
We dropped an age joke again.
Wow.
Oops, we did it again.
No, every fuck. Oh wow, I see what you did there.
Did it again.
Till your heart got lost. Everything, oh baby.
To be honest, I was more of a Christina Aguilera fan.
Whoa.
Still am.
Get out.
Still am.
No, I love Christina too, but
She's an amazing singer. She just had to do that god awful burlesque movie though.
This is a Britney episode. Okay, fine. We're not.
Let's
Yeah,
talk
what
about
the hell,
this.
man? We're talking about Britney.
Just kidding.
It's Britney, bitch.
You already lost credibility with Ashley Simpson.
I thought she was cute in Seventh Heaven though, when she first came out before she was a recording
she
artist.
was in Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, it's like, oh, who's this? She's pretty.
Then she dyed her hair black to be differentiated from
Edgy.
her sister.
Yeah, and she kind of went pop punk, but more pop talaga with hint
You
of
make
punk.
me wanna la in the kitchen on the floor. Be a bridesmaid. Sorry, I apologize for the
This
terrible.
was
singing
a
this
Britney
episode.
Spears episode.
Now I think it's turning into a 90s, early 2000s tribute
I
episode.
love that era.
Oh my God, speaking of the 90s and the early 2000s, we talked about the boy band Con earlier. That one dude from O-Town was there. Lou Pearlman. Lou Pearlman, when he
shit.
lost
Yes.
NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys,
Oh,
produced
shit.
a show called Making the Band. I remember
That's
watching this on
right,
Studio
that's right.
23.
And O-Town was the band that came out of that show.
Exactly. Liquid Dreams.
Well, that is so weird. So Lou
Liquid
Pearlman
Dreams. God.
created
What's up?
these two bands to play off each other, created a whole bunch of other bands that nobody cared about, and
Yep.
also decided to document the process.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, it was one of those first few reality shows, which is kind of interesting and revolutionary. At
No,
that
I'm
point
just
in
saying
time.
it's shameless. That guy would do anything for money.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I think that was pretty clear when you had all these investors tell them their experience about investing in his airline, quote unquote airline.
Well, what about how after working them to the bone for years and years, that he invites them all to a steak dinner in a fancy place to give them their first paycheck?
Oh my God! They ate in Peter Luger's Steakhouse in New York. That
And
place
how
is
much?
so
How much did he
fucking
give them?
expensive.
How much was it? $10,000.
$10,000
$10,000.
after
Wow.
selling out stadiums.
Their dinner was more
Incredible.
expensive than their individual paychecks.
Yup.
Mhm.
And it was only
Honest.
then that they
Was
realized,
fucking
wait,
stupid.
parang may mali dito. Wait.
Yeah, I'm not sure which band's lawyer was it. If it was the Backstreet Boys lawyer or NSYNC's lawyer. When they took a look at the contract, they were saying, "This is the worst
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Contract
JC's.
I've seen in music industry."
That was JC's relative because they couldn't afford lawyers.
Which makes it sadder.
Yeah.
Right?
So, and to think that a couple of like the greatest boy bands of all time had the worst contracts
Yeah.
of all time.
Basically, he
too.
owned their asses.
Fuck.
But I
And
think
named himself as the 6th member. Kapal ng face.
just so he could get a cut of every album.
Literal makapal face niya. 'Cause he's
Kapal
this
ng
big obese
face.
Like some Jabba the Hutt motherfucker, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I was gonna say that.
Oh my God, kapal ng face. Is that what you're gonna say? Sorry.
No, I was gonna say that it was really interesting how in that documentary we moved on to the part where to get out of their contracts, NSYNC decided to fight it out in court, but the Backstreet Boys decided to buy their freedom by paying for it. So they worked their asses off and they did shows just to get enough money to buy out their contract. In all honesty, I think like if they teamed up with NSYNC, they probably would have had a stronger case. They wouldn't have had to pay the guy anything.
Why didn't they?
I think
because
they were,
of the rivalry he created.
No, I think they were scared. They were scared of him because they still kind of believed.
Yeah.
Remember, he got to them when they were like 14 years old. So they still, at some level, believed that he had all this power and all this money and he could, crush them.
I like the at one point the two groups got into talking with each other and they were comparing what their contracts were like or what their experiences were like. They're like, he said that, you said that.
Yeah. Fucker made them mad at each other.
Right. He would play them against each other. Damn.
The industry is fucked, you guys.
I know, right? Aren't you glad we're not pop stars?
Nope. I'm just gonna sing to their songs and I'm happy with that. And play their songs.
She's so lucky, pum pum pum. She's a star. Never mind. I'm not gonna continue.
I dream about a girl who's mixed Destiny's Child. Just a little touch of Madonna's side with Janet Jackson smile.
Throwing a body like
before we start,
you got the star of my liquid dreams.
You got my liquid dreams. Okay.
Man, I miss Old
We
Town.
should end this before we
90s dance party. We'll return after these messages.
Okay, so we suggest you watch
Fan or not, we suggest you watch.
Yep.
Yeah, fan or not, it's important to get to know what's happening in the industry and how media has fucked one of our most iconic, most talented artists ever. Sorry, okay, fans coming out. But just watch Framing Britney Spears and maybe learn a thing or two about how society functioned back then and how we can change it in the future, I guess. And for supplementary watching, go watch Boy Band Con 2 and go on the same 90s music binge as we currently are now.
Yes.
Music's great.
Free Britney!
Hashtag free Britney.
Hashtag free Britney.
Hashtag that shit.
So,
And then for good vibes, watch Giving You Everything, the Spice Girls documentary.
I'm giving you everything, all the joy. Okay, it's fine. I'll stop. I'll just sing after. This has been an
You wanna
episode.
be my lover? You have got to feel.
It never stops. How do we end this?
And that's been an episode.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Please follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Facebook. We have a group, Sub-Auteurs. We like movies. We're also on Instagram, sub_auteurs. Come on over, share some memes, have some fun. Tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. And maybe, just maybe, I'm going to put up a video of these two idiots singing.
Because we're like teenies in a bottle, baby. Come on down.
Thank you. Bye.
Woohoo!
Good God.
You know how we're like our parents now and they used to be like, oh, music back in my day was so much better.
I totally get it.
That is us now.
I hate the Chainsmokers.
What, you don't like monotone?
Ugh. It was fucking stupid. Ugh. It was so bad. It was so bad that they had to rely on Coldplay to maintain their relevance. Jesus.
So
Before we alienate any more of our audience.
In the backseat of your Rover. No,
You can have the Chainsmokers.